This is part 2, talking about consequences. Now we're going to talk about natural consequences. And what we really want to do as parents, as adults, we want to let natural consequences lead the way most of the time. Logical consequences aren't always the best because children already usually feel bad or guilty when they make a mistake because something's already happened. So this is the one we want to lean towards using more often. So natural consequence means it happens naturally. Like the example given in this positive discipline card, if you get wet because you didn't wear your raincoat outside, that's a natural consequence. Now, what's important is that parents and adults do not piggyback on these natural consequences. We piggyback when we lecture, when we scold, if we say, "I told you so." That only adds blame and shame and pain to the child that's already dealing with a lot. When we shame or when we lecture, it actually takes away from the learning that the child's experiencing because they don't process the experience. They don't think, "I didn't wear my raincoat, so I'm wet and cold." Instead, they focus on absorbing that shame you're giving them and trying to figure out how to defend themselves against that blame and shame. Instead, what we want to do is focus on empathy. Wow, that must be really uncomfortable. We're acknowledging to the kid that we understand. And the point is, don't be sarcastic. We have a tendency to do that. No, that's part of the shame. We don't shame. We actually empathize with what's going on with the kid. Then we validate the feelings. Man, I understand you must be really upset that happened. We also want, maybe we can help them with solutions, but we want the child to lead the way. So, wow, it sounds like you're cold and uncomfortable. What do you think we can do to fix that? And let the child make the choice about where this natural consequence is going to lead. There are times when natural consequences are not practical to the situation. The first being if the child could be in danger. So for instance, we don't want the kid to find out what happens if we don't look both ways before we cross the street, right? Grab their hand. We can't let them get hurt. Next one would be if it interfered with the rights of others. So for example, if your child is throwing rocks or hitting people with sticks, that infringes on their right to safety, then we intervene. Finally, it's if the behavior doesn't seem to concern the kid. So things like not taking a bath, not brushing their teeth, eating tons of junk food, not doing their homework. That's going to have some pretty severe consequences if you don't do anything, and so we want to intervene then too. For more parenting tools, give me a follow, drop comments down below.